Snero, now on stage. No one similar. No one son. Noise over silence. North over south. North or south. Matthew, you already know. It's an even day, and I've come on the YouTubes to share a message, as I always do. Something you can take with you, something you can reflect upon. And I'm not gonna hold you. Smart Savvy, what's good? How you doing? How's your day? Hump day? Yeah. It's just you and I, sweetheart. It's just you and I. And I do have a message. I do have something to share. I will share it and then we will take it from there. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up for me. Really appreciate you. It's always a pleasure seeing you and having you join me. And I'll get to it. I won't hold you. So today's message is, it's actually like a lesson. Have you ever asked yourself, did I marry the wrong person? So today's topic is relationship centered. Maybe you didn't marry them. Maybe you're just in a serious long-term relationship with them and you ask yourself, am I in a relationship with the wrong person? And these are the things that I want you to know next time you catch yourself thinking that. It goes like this. Most people's parents don't tell their children the feeling of love is the feeling of love. The feeling of love is one of the worst reasons to get married. That's right, I said it. The feeling of love is one of the worst. Maybe not the worst, but definitely one of the last reasons you want to get married or be in a long-term relationship. And let me elaborate before you try to tell me different. Most people think it's about love, passion, excitement, but all that fades over time, doesn't it? I'm sure we all can attest to that to some degree. So it's normal to feel less in love over time. Being in love is all about you. Why is that, do you think? Smart, savvy, loved, are you with me? Why do you think that being in love is all about you? Why? Scientifically, why is that? I'll give you about 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. The reason why being in love is all about you is because you are experiencing the reality around you internally. What's happening, you perceive as being outside of you, but what's happening is really just a response, a brain response that's happening internally, especially when we're talking about feelings. If you're getting stimulation from the outside and it's causing you to feel love, you are the one who is creating that love, not the stimulation. You know what I mean? And that's why scientifically, love isn't about anything else. It's all about you. All right? So being love is all about you. And those feelings we experience, the happiness, the excitement, infatuation, when those fade, we think something's wrong, don't we? Noobs. Marriage is truly founded on self-awareness, emotional intelligence, kindness, respect, thoughtfulness, patience, humility. That's a big one. Loyalty, and last but definitely not least, accountability. That's a huge one right there. And that's a lot of work. I don't think anybody checks every single one of those boxes every single day, all day long. So it's a lot of work. And nobody gets it right all the time. So it's something that we consciously have to continually work on. It's a constant. It's a continuum, if you know what I mean. And therefore, When you catch yourself thinking, did I marry the wrong person? Am I in a relationship, this long term, serious relationship with the wrong person? No. The answer is unequivocally no. Because we don't marry the wrong person. We're not in a relationship with the wrong person. We marry or be in a relationship with our unfinished business. That's the takeaway from all of this. We are in relationships with our unfinished business. Years into a relationship or marriage, we default into who we were in our family of origin and unconsciously repeat the same patterns we grew up with. And that's why we be thinking the person we married changed. And maybe they did change. But it's really not about that change, because the only thing that's constant is change. So what should you do? You might be asking yourself at this point, if you've ever caught yourself asking, did I marry the wrong person? Instead of focusing on your partner, focus on yourself. There you go. How about that? You can do it. Help each other grow in areas that you were lacking in your childhood. It's not about finding the right person. It's about becoming the right person. Huh? Together. Together is the key word in that. It's about becoming the right person. So continue to fail in the right direction and fall in love over and over again. And that's today's yap. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's see what you all have to say down here in these comments. I thought it was a good question too, Smart Savvy. What up, Links? Waterloo, you already know. You already know, fam. The love trap is a setup. Because love is something that you create within yourself, and you can choose to stop creating that subconsciously or consciously on your own. And then you're going to be thinking, oh, it's that person's fault. But it's really you, fam, because you're the one who originated the love emotion, dopamine, hormone, chemical. Funny. Yeah, man. So that's all I got for you today. I'm not going to hold nobody up. We can make this quick. We can make this long. It's looking like it's going to be a short one. Happy birthday, best friends. I have two friends with a birthday today. My friend Julie's birthday is today. And my Aunt Christine's birthday today. So, well, it was yesterday, but it's her birth week, so happy birthday to you all. What's your sign if you're having a birthday right now? It's October. You are a Libra? I'm not sure. Thank you, Waterloo. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I was actually really excited about coming. I was excited about coming on this live today because the live I did yesterday or 4 days ago or something like that, I was talking about taxes and why I feel like, why I'm correct in filing for exempt. And Waterloo, you were one of the people. It was you. I saw you. I remember. You was like, yo, delete this. And I felt the way about it because I never get more than like 5 or 10 comments on my shorts. And I had like 30 comments on that short in one day. I was like, what the hell are people talking about? I'll go look at all the comments. Everybody talking about I need to delete the short. I'm like, why? Because I'm supposed to be scared? I'm supposed to be scared of the government? Never that, man. Never that. I invite the government. As long as they don't come violently, which they usually do. And if they come violently, then they're already on the wrong side of history because I'm just speaking my mind. Am I not? to try to punish me and put me in jail. All because I said I feel like I'm exempt from taxes. And at the end of the day, nobody's really exempt. You know why? You know why, fam? It's impossible to get out of the tax game because every dollar you spend has a sales tax on it when you spend it. When you die, they tax you in death. And they want your kids to pay for you dying. Because it's like, oh, there goes one of our slaves. Somebody's got to cover that charge. You know what I mean? The IRS every year is like, hey, it's tax season. And you're like, oh, really? And you're like, yeah, man. Guess how much you owe? And you're like, guess? No. How about you just tell me what it is? You know what it is. They're like, nah, you just got to guess first. And you're going to be like, okay, $3. They're going to be like, jail. What kind of world is that? People that subscribe to that, consent to that, they are conspirators with the government. So somebody in the comments try to say that, oh, what I was doing was criminal. I was like, no. She said tax evasion is criminal. I was like, how about tax avoidance? Evasion, avoidance, two different words. Maybe the same outcome. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I was shocked at the people who were upset that I would say such a thing. That I'm exempt on my taxes. Like they originally put their non-sponsored government agent hats on. It's really 1984 out here. You ever read that book 1984 by George Orwell? People was telling on each other for no reason. The revolution could not even start because as soon as you thought about it, they would kidnap you at night, take you away, nobody ever see you again. I was like, damn, why people on YouTube trying to hate on me? I'm trying to tell y'all we need to get together on this thing and just stop filing all together. Just like I feel, yo, if the next voting cycle came around and nobody voted, not one, I mean, that's never probably going to happen, but just imagine, visualize it in your head. 95% of the people who normally vote just don't vote the next election cycle. Do you think that the mainstream media is going to be like, doo-doo-doo? Today, we're reporting that nobody showed up to the voting polls. What would they do? Could they give you an excuse? Could they actually put somebody in power? Would somebody gain office if nobody voted for them? It's the same idea, fam. It's the same idea. You don't vote, you don't consent. You don't fucking file a tax. You don't consent. And if the powers that be or were, I like to say the powers that were, if they really feel a way about it, let them send me a letter. They know where I live. My NSA agent is watching me right now. What's up, NSA? What's up, FBI? CIA? You feel me? Ah, man. Let me see what the comments are saying. Okay, there's a lot of comments coming in. Okay. I moved somebody what I just said. I moved somebody. Oh, Libra. See, I got it right. I be knowing my signs. What do I think about Palestine, the war Gaza, Israel? It's not a war. It's a genocide. Let's be very adamant about what a war is. A war is two sides. It could be a gang war. It could be a national thing with borders involved. It only becomes a war when two sides both have standing armies. With similar capabilities. What's happening in Gaza is a genocide, not a war. Every time you catch yourself calling it a war, it's not that. It is a genocide. People are being wiped off the face of the planet because they are different. That's it. That's all. And guess what? That also goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about. Because guess who pays for all of Israel's weapons and all of Israel's politicians? Guess who pays for that? The American taxpayer. So as up in arms as we want to be about, oh, this is fucked up, what's happening in Gaza, you go file your taxes this year. And tell me how that makes sense to you. How do you reconcile that? Oh, that's fucked up what's happening in Gaza. But then you be the first one in line when tax season come. Like, please file my taxes. You act like you don't know where them taxes go, fam. Oh, I just raised my heartbeat up real quick. My blood pressure went up. Oh, man. No, I did not delete that, Sunshine. Because I ain't scared. And I was saying the wrong thing. What was wrong about it, fam? Okay, Cindy Rose. Let's cover your question in its full extent. Sydney Rose asks, have I really not paid taxes since 2007? I paid taxes yesterday. I paid taxes the day before that. Every time I go spend the Federal Reserve note, I'm paying taxes. It's called a sales tax. I can't get around it. I can't be like, you know what? Take that sales tax off, sales associate. They're not even going to know how to do that. I mean, sometimes you do. I remember when I worked at Macy's, I knew how to take the tax off. But you had to have like a special card or something like that, or be a senior citizen or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, every day I pay tax. Every day I put forth commerce or energy out into the world, that is a tax. Why? Because I had to get in my car to go. You know what I have to do to be able to drive that car? Really, when I'm not driving, I'm traveling. There's a big difference. But in order to drive that car, I have to get something called a license. You know how much I paid for that license? That is a tax, fam. Sorry to yell. I'm just, the Gaza shit always amps me up. Because people really be acting like you don't have no type of fucking control over what's going on with that shit. We complain about that shit all fucking day long. And not one person wrote a letter, called an office, decided I'm not voting anymore, decided I'm not paying taxes anymore. Or when I say not paying taxes, what I mean is filing. You voluntarily walk into the office. Or you call up your tax accountant, your certified public accountant, and you say, can you do this for me? And they do the thing for you. They make their best guess. You pay for them. You know what I mean? All right, I digress off of that, Sydney Rose. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, Strawberry, you seen that? I never get that many comments in a short. People were like, they really were triggered. And rightfully so. You should be upset that one person is standing up and doing what you, not to say you, but all those people who were triggered by that, they wish they had the balls to do that. They wish. And that's what I said. I said it to one person in the comment. I replied to them. I said, yo, y'all really out here afraid of the boogeyman. All you got to do is take yourself off the voter registry, because when you're registered as a voter, that means you consent to the government. If you're not registered as a voter, they can take that as a signal that you are saying you don't consent to government, which I don't. When you walk into your tax accountant's office, you're consenting to being taxed. We have to understand that, everybody. It's really that simple, okay? What I also didn't say in that short was that for maybe almost 25 years now, no, not 25, 15, sorry. I added a whole nother 10 years on there. I have something called a true bill in commerce. It's an unrebutted affidavit. It's been filed on record in New York State, which once it's on file, on record in that state, which was my home state, it's everywhere. I can use that for protection. So if the IRS sends me a letter today, tomorrow, whenever, and they say, yo, you got to do such and such and such and such, I get my true bill in commerce that I have certified copies of, and I send it to them. And I say, hey, this has been in place for 15 years. Can you rebut any one of these things? And if they can't, which they can't, because let's be honest, IRS tax the agents, they don't have the fiduciary responsibility themselves to put a lien on me, or they damn sure don't want a lien put on them. That's another thing we got to talk about. We got to talk about bonds and liens. These public officials, especially IRS, any government official, has an oath, which means they have a bond somewhere. If they violate their oath to the Constitution, they can have a lien placed on their bond. And if they have a lien placed on their bond, they cannot do business anymore. And I can sue them for hundreds of thousands of dollars. We can go into USC titles and all that. I'm not trying to go that deep with y'all. I'm not trying to go that deep. But trust me when I tell you, I didn't say that just willy-nilly, like, oh, this is what you should do. Like, because I've taken precautionary measures myself, and I am seeking active engagement. But they don't want problems with me, because once they know that the monkey can speak, they will leave it alone. All right. I said a lot right there. Let me get back to these comments. They will take away your ability to file any exemptions altogether until you pay them. Okay. How do we know that the reason why they don't bother me for the past 15 years, right? My math might be a little bit off. Not only is because they know they can't, but because they know that they owe me. You feel what I'm saying? They owe me. I'm leaving them alone. I'm like, yo, y'all can keep that Federal Reserve note check. Because they know, I know how much this flesh and blood vessel is worth. They know that I know how much every time I sign my name on something, how much that is worth. Notice you can't do shit without signing your name official, because your signature is what gives intrinsic value to any instrument. I can put my signature on a fucking piece of toilet paper right now, if I knew how to do it, which I don't really know how to do, but it's a security instrument. So it could be worth whatever I want it to be worth, or if I could put whatever value I want to assign to it. Because I, the human sentient flesh and blood being, is what assigns value, intrinsic value, to that negotiable instrument. And that's what I was talking about. But right now, for me, the game is I don't bother them. They don't bother me. I like to leave it like that. Thank you for catching me the first time, Strawberry. I hope to see you in the future and all of that. Thank you. Yes, Strawberry, you said it. That is the word. I blew my mind. I forgot to say the capital V word. Voluntary. Tax is a voluntary system. Matter of fact, I was going to go on this whole ass rant, but I summed it up. If you're having trouble with your employer and going legally tax-free, do I want to go down the rabbit hole of the etymology of the word legal, which just means undoing God's law? That's the etymology of the word legal, okay? Undoing God's law. So if you're having trouble with your employer in going legally tax-free, use this. Here's the part of the live where you probably want to grab like a notebook. I'll give you about 10 seconds, maybe like a notepad. Just grab a pen and something to write with. I'll count down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Use 26 CFR. Use 26 CFR 31.3402 P. P as in Patagonia. To show that withholding is entirely voluntary. It can be eliminated at any time by any party. They are literally called voluntary withholding agreements. You can't even make that shit up. You should also use 15 USC 17, which states clearly the labor of a human being is not a commodity or article of commerce. All right? Don't say I ain't give you nothing. All right. Thank you for your help, Sunshine. I appreciate that. Yes, exactly, Smart Savvy. They live in Soylent Green where metaphors, and these movies came out in the 70s, yo. They were metaphors for what's going on. The closest I think we've come to that in recent times is the movie Idiocracy. That movie was supposed to be a rom-com, but it's most definitely a documentary. Like one of the greatest documentaries ever to be filmed. The movie is called Idiocracy. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you go see that movie. You'll laugh, you'll think it's all fun and games, but if you look deeper and see the message behind the movie, you will see how that is an exact analogy for what is going on today. Waterloo says the youth out here destroying people's businesses, so why can't get together and not pay taxes? I wish, man. I mean, the only way it's ever going to happen is if somebody has enough gall to be like, oh, I don't do that. Oh, I haven't done that in a while. I wonder who those people could be. Where do you find such people? Hmm? Exactly, Strawberry. Imagine if no one showed up to work. System collapse. How long do you think it would take them? I give them 2 or 3 days tops. 2 or 3 days tops. The Council of 300. Okay, write that down in your notebook. The Council of 300. Those people would be shitting bricks, and they would be wondering who they have to snipe to make it all go away. But that's the beautiful thing about organization and camaraderie. The only reason why America or any country exists is because of human organization. We as a people, our ability to organize is the most threatening thing to the system. But how do we do that? Because the only venues of organization are the ones that they create for us. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you know what I mean? But I had a vision about 3 years ago that I remember sitting poolside and saying to my friend, all we need to do is create a fucking app that replicates, like, let's say there's a bill that goes in front of Congress today that they're going to vote on. We need an app that gets every single one of those bills and then have people who've downloaded the app, who are users of the app, place their own votes on it. We authenticate these users' votes with the blockchain, so nobody can double vote. You can't vote once on this phone and then vote another time on this phone, because that's one person voting twice. So we need some type of authentication to go into to authorize every one single vote for one person. And then maybe even to make it really cool is have test of competency, right? Because if you don't know shit about finance, you shouldn't be voting on legislation for finance or economics. If you don't know shit about fucking farming, you shouldn't have a say necessarily on legislative bills or laws being made about farming. So every bill or legislation that comes before them, these motherfuckers, the politicians, ain't even qualified to do that shit. Them niggas be just, hey, what are you guys voting? My party. I'm a Democrat. What is the Democrats voting on? Are we voting yay on this thing? Okay, yay. That's all the fuck they do. These niggas don't know shit. I don't give a fuck if they got a fucking degree. What the fuck does that mean? You know how many tests of fucking chemistry I aced in high school, and asked me them same questions today? I'll be like, I don't know, son. I gotta go review. My. These niggas ain't reviewing shit. They using GPT now. to legislate. So now we getting fucking leaders who relying on AI and shit. I'm going down. I'm yapping. I'm yapping. I'm ranting. I'm fucking sidelining and shit. But what I mean to say is, it's gotta. The change has have to start somewhere. I don't know where or how it's gonna happen, but what God told me personally, I'm sure He put it in some of y'all's fucking minds a couple of times, is develop an app because everybody has a smartphone. Develop an app that basically mirrors every single legislative bill that goes before Congress and let people vote on that shit. And then when people realize, yo, that's right, I can make my own fucking choices if this bill goes through or not. Why do we need to rely on them? They're definitely afraid of people learning that we don't actually fucking need them. We all have smartphones. If somebody wants to draw up a bill, like I can draw up a bill personally, like I wish that all of the residents in the area code of 32209 of Jackson, the zip code, I should say, not the area code, the zip code, we if we donate 1 day of service to the community, we get such and such benefit. And then, have every fucking blast that shit to everybody in this area, this zip code, and have them vote on it, whether they agree on it or not. And if a consensus is made, guess what? You get to participate in that program and receive the benefit. And at the same time, if you chose not to participate in that program, then you don't have to. That's what it's supposed. This is supposed to be a republic where the majority's will cannot outweigh the rights of the individual. That's why they always feeding you this democracy shit, because democracy, it's not pro freedom. Democracy is two wolves and one sheep voting on what's for fucking dinner. Okay, that's what democracy is. The staunchest advocate for democracy, Socrates, was killed by democracy. He was voted into his own death. All right, so it's not a demo. This is there. The word democracy has been refuted and repugnated by every founding father of this country, and that's why it's the Republic of the United States. It's not the democracy of the United States. When you say you're fucking who remembers the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of the America and to the what? And to the what? The democracy? I don't remember saying that shit. And to the democracy for which nobody said that, bro. It's always been a republic, and they tried their best to make us forget that. That's why they don't have the Pledge of Allegiance no more in school. But yeah, an app. Who's going to be the one to create the app for us? Maybe it'll be me. Maybe that'll be my claim to fucking impact on this earth for humans. Happy was good. Nah, facts, Sydney. That's what I always tell myself too. First of all, there's a difference between revenue and income. We are filing something called income taxes. Income taxes is completely different than profit or take home pay. All right? I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Don't believe me, go do the research. Yes, thank you for reminding people smart savvy. Please hit that like button if it's not too much fucking trouble to hit a fucking button for me. Talk about that crazy guy with the weird face on YouTube who was ranting about taxes today and government and shit like that. And how it's a republic and not a fucking democracy. Share that verbally with your friends, and then maybe they'll come find me on the interwebs. Exactly, Strawberry. I'm not an advisor in this shit, Because the comment that I just read from Strawberry Baby was, because of you, I started a new job and put exempt on federal and state taxes. Lots of laughs. Y'all are not getting me anymore. Try it, fam. Because when I tried it, I was a little shook. I thought they was going to fire me because they can't get, they're your your human resources officer at your job is acting like a government employee when they don't get paid by the government. They don't get no paycheck from the directly from the United States government, from Washington D.C. But they'll snitch on you anyway, or they'll have feelings because wait, you're not doing the things that everybody else is doing. So the groupthink kicks in, the sheeple in them kicks in, and then they start acting funny. And it could go that way. But lucky for you, you have tons of laws that you can bring to them. There's even, I forget what the form is. There's a form if you want to fill it out. I'll have to research and tell you exactly what it is because I haven't looked at it in a long time. But there's a form you fill out that lets them know, like, if they don't honor what you're telling them to do, that is a crime. That's a felony. Imprisonable for 2 fucking years and like 100,000 or some shit like that. So they have to honor your delegation, your commandment to them is, no, I'm tax exempt. Let me worry about the IRS if they want to come for me. And they be trying to make us fear the IRS, like the IRS really be all knowing and powerful and reaching like that. When Donald Trump himself told you, I'm gonna hire 10,000 more IRS agents, field agents to get the job done. Cause trust me when I tell you, they not worried about it, fam. They should be going after multi-millionaires who launder money, and they barely could do that. So you think they worried about me and my little 28 under 28,000 a year ass? Fuck out of here. They ain't worried about me. They don't even know about the shit. I'm putting shit under a rock. I'm putting shit in a mattress. Don't come over here looking for my bread now. I'm telling you right now. Don't come over here looking for my bread. But it's buried. I kid. Hey, sunshine. Hey, those are dirty words, sunshine. We don't say sovereign citizen. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. You cannot be a citizen and sovereign at the same fucking time. It's an oxymoron. But I'll leave that with you. Sunshine. That's what I'm talking about. Sunshine is we can't be scared to not fucking tell people. That's what they're depending on. If I don't say it, we can't organize again around the idea. If that's been my fucking problem with the people who are really good at this shit. I'm not one of the really most well versed at the fucking UCC and the USC and the CFR and all of the fucking written laws that they have. But I do understand logic and reasoning, and logic tells me that if we're ever going to organize effectively, somebody just has to fucking say that shit. They have to be the one say, nah, I don't do that. And then people look at you like you're a little bit crazy. And people, the greatest people that we've ever heard about to walk the face of the planet stood against the fucking system. Jesus Christ. You think Jesus Christ was scared to say what the fuck you had to say? Fam? Not even to say that, I subscribe to the whole Christianity religion thing. But it's a prime example. That is the biggest shining, no puns intended, the biggest shining example that we all have. Homie came to the planet and was like, oh, all of this shit gotta go. And what he do? He said, yo, if I gotta sacrifice myself for this shit, so be it. Y'all act like this earthly shit really is all that. Like there's not something greater waiting for me on the other side. The only thing that fucking scares me when I talk this shit is my babies, because I got babies. And I really want to be around for my fucking babies, yo. Like, That shit is more important than all of you. I'm sorry. I will forsake the planet for my two. Nah, I don't know. Pause. But still, I kind of feel comfortable saying that. Like, I feel like if it was up to me, snap decision, if it was the whole entire world or my two girls, I would choose my two girls. And that, that thought has to be reconciled with, because what kind of world are my two girls gonna have if they don't have a world? You know what I mean? It's a thought experiment. But I say all of that to say is I'm not fucking scared. I'm not scared of the United States government. You know why? Because I'm not going to war with them. I'm not telling them I want to fight. I'm telling them, yo, let's have a conversation. It's my fucking God-given right. My first inherent right is to say whatever the fuck I want to say. Facts. And you know what comes right after that, right? My ability to back that shit the fuck up if somebody really got a problem. That's my those are my first two rights, fam. So if like you really trying to, you know what I mean? I don't want to get too sidetracked, but the point was, Sunshine, you said don't tell everybody, stay off the radar. It's not about that anymore, yo. I can understand why people in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s was like, oh, there's not, they didn't have a fucking internet like that to really understand the power of going on the internet and saying some shit. And the internet is so powerful. It's a tool that can actively be used against us. I fucking agree, and I know that. I know that my NSA agents saw that shit that I posted. My NSA agent is watching me right now, and I don't see it. I don't hear any helicopters. I don't see the tanks rolling in. So they must not be too worried. If my bank account get frozen, ouch. But that means I touched the button. That means that they are scared because they're enacting. So if they're not responding or reacting to the shit that I say on the internet, they don't mind, fam. They're not going to care until I'm 10, 20, 30 deep with like-minded individuals. And those 10, 20, 30 people, like-minded individuals, each of them have 10, 20, 30 like-minded individuals. And the shit just spreads like wildfire. Who knows? The shit could take a fucking week. A week of somebody talking about it. Yo, the government is shut down right now, fam. I forgot about that. I forgot that these niggas not even in business because they don't know how to fucking talk and agree on simple shit. These fucking people are children and we let them run the world. Man, this has been a hot one. I said I was going to get in and out. I said I was going to talk about marriage and how you really didn't marry the wrong person. How do we get over here? Oh yeah, because I got amp. Unseen, what up? Unseen, what did you think about Idiocracy? That was a great movie, bro. Dottie Hottie, how you going to type shut up? You sound stupid. Get the fuck out. I'm talking. You're here for me. Just go home. Just hit the back button. Sunshine, I don't mind if somebody take my idea. Sunshine, you got to do some meditation, baby. Because you be coming from a place of FEAR. The FEAR, it's the only thing to be scared of is fear itself. Who said that shit? Teddy Roosevelt? With his weird mustache having ass? He said the only thing to fear is fear itself. And I said, God damn, that's some powerful shit that nigga's on right there. And then he sold us up Schitt's Creek. Oh, capitalism. Let's not get started with capitalism. I don't got the capacity for that right now. But in a way, I do agree with you, Serena Rose, that true capitalism is supposed to be free market and you have a price for your product or your service, and I agree on paying that price for your product or service, that is true basic fundamental capitalism. But the only reason why I might disagree with you about capitalism working the way we want it to work is because humans humans are kind of fucked up fundamentally. We prioritize instant gratification over longevity. And because that is an innate part of our nature, not to say that it won't change in some place in the future, because it has to, if we're going to continue to exist and not go extinct, if you know what I mean. But because we are like that, we are willing to pollute the entire earth, destroy nature for instant gratification. People tear, like, how much of the Amazon is gone because motherfuckers want soy or, whatever the fuck they mono farm in the Amazon now. Like, but yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. We'll talk about it next time. Next time we talk about capitalism. Shanika, what's good? Nah, facts. Oh, Sunshine, you do meditate. Okay, that's what's up. All right. I'm sorry to assume that you don't meditate. Denise, the girls are good, as far as I know. Talked to them a couple of nights ago. Yeah, 2 nights ago. And everybody is well. Aura is very busy these days. That's right, Smart Savvy. He turned over the money tables in the temple. Johannes. Question: what is one philosophy I should follow for the day? One philosophy you should follow for the day and the rest of your life is being the change that you want to see in the world. That's straight from my man Gandhi, is the one who said it. Be the change you want to see in the world. What I want is for people to stop relying on an organization of humans, elderly humans who don't have much time on this earth, who are stupid rich, who have more money than they can ever spend in their short fucking lives, make decisions for the entire world. That is my change in the world. I don't want that to be the case. When my girls, I have a 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, when they're the age of the majority, which is around 18 years old, I don't want them to have to think, oh, these problems in my community aren't my problem. They are these peoples whose names I don't even know. It's their problem to fix that, and when they fix it, that's when I'll reap the reward for it. I want them to feel empowered that they can wake up one day with an idea, and they can organize their community, they can organize their county, they can organize their state with them, just their idea, and affect real change. That's what I want. So that's the change that I'm trying to be in the world. I hope that you sit down, Johannes Tesfalde. Tesfalde? Is the T silent? And you really center your being, your presence on this planet with the change that you want to see. And I digress. Peace, love, joy. What's up, Monica Anderson? So happy to have finally caught you live. Thank you for joining me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to click on this video. I really appreciate that shit. Cuzzo, Olivia, what's good? I'm trying to get out of here already. I started sweating because somebody got me amped talking about taxes in Gaza. Those are the buttons, boy. Those are buttons for me. Like, I know everybody knows what's going on in Gaza, the Middle East, the Congo, Somalia. forget the place in China where slavery is still a thing. But they hear about that shit and they get really fucking mad. And then they get really upset. And then they get really kind of like depressed because they really don't fucking know what to do about the shit. So, me, I have a few thousand people that subscribe to this channel. I'm sure it's going to be a lot less by the time this live is over. But nonetheless, I still have a few thousand people who are willing to listen to this funny face man rant about the changes that he wants to see in the world. And uh, yeah, I don't want fucking apartheid. I don't want mass murder of innocent people who have nothing to do with fucking resources and land grabs, to be murdered. The fuck? Like, you can't even say murdered on fucking you can't even say that shit online no more. People be like, he was unalive. What? I got an eye booger. Oh, that's just shine. All right, cool. It's called crony capitalism, Serena. That's the form of capitalism we have today is crony capitalism, which means just, less for the masses, more for the aristocrats, or what do you call them? Just the people who have. It's funny, I think even in the Bible, the Gospel of Matthew, which is my name, he was a fucking tax collector in that book. Matthew was a fucking tax collector, bro. And Jesus made him put that shit away. That nigga was paid. But I say all that to say that he was one of the haves amongst the many have-nots. And so the people who have a lot, which is very few in number, they want more. And that is called crony capitalism. Waterloo, that's a great question. Is Trump breaking the system? That is a great fucking question. I ask myself that every day. Because as much as he is a part of all the bullshit that I hate in this fucking world, or hate is a strong word, that I disdain, dislike in this world, he is a proponent, a component, and a proponent of all of that shit. I think he's so fucking dumb or so egotistical that he might not even realize that he's breaking it. Like, maybe in a weird fucking way. The nigga is like, I don't know, man. People say that God moves through Donald Trump, and they look at Donald Trump as like a deity to worship. But I think it's not. It is that, but not quite that. Like, God is moving through Donald Trump in like just, he's such a chaotic loose cannon, or just so egotistical that he never wants to lose. His thing is winning. That he does all the wrong things to the highest degree, that nothing. And that's the thing about capitalism, is it's a self-eating system. It feeds on itself, capitalism. And Donald Trump is the, what's the word? The embodiment of that. Donald Trump is the embodiment of a system feeding on itself. Yes, the Chinese, I can't say that word. I could. I'm gonna try. The Chinese Uyghur? I can't. Uyghur. I wish I had the intelligence to pronounce that. But thank you, Johannes, for reminding me. I always forget because I know it's a word that it's hard for me to pronounce. But yeah, that shit needs to change. It needs to stop and then change in a way that it can't ever happen again. You're right, Serena. I wholeheartedly agree with the best thing we can do is see how we can improve things in our own lives, meaning we start with ourselves. We become the change that we want to be ourselves. That's what I was just telling the homie. And then from that, we influence our nuclear family. And by influencing our nuclear family, they then go out into the world and they influence the people that are in their ambiance, in their environment. And then next thing you know, it's just a fucking wave. It's a ripple effect. It's a butterfly effect. So that is the best way. It's the path of, what's the phrase? Least resistance. There we go. The path of least resistance is starting with yourself. And again, when I speak out against the United States government, when I speak out against all government, because the etymology of the word government is to control the mind, govern is to control, mint is mind, government is to control the mind. So I speak out against the controls of all of our minds because it is high time. 2025, y'all. We are at the precipice of quantum computing. We're at the precipice of fucking AI robots doing everything that we don't want to do because they can do it more efficiently and more and better. We don't need this old antiquated bullshit fucking system anymore. And they know it. That's why they can't even stay open, fam. They can't even do their job, fam. They have one job, and that's to legislate. The legislative, the executive to carry out the legislative, and then the judicial branch, which is basically like another arm of the fucking executive branch these days. But their purpose is to enforce those things. We have checks and balances. That's what they always tell us. That's what they always fucking preach in school, right? But the shit ain't even fucking working no more. It probably hasn't been working correctly since after World War II, to be honest with you. Like, maybe even before that. 1913, the Federal Reserve was created. 1917, World War I. You think that's a coincidence? Come on, fam. Mrs. Clayton was good. Yeah, the likes don't be making sense. It's all good. I know. I know people be checking. They, like I can't even really. What's the word? You know I love my fucking words, y'all. I can't even speak until I get the word out of the back of my brain. I want to say capitulate, but that's not even it. That's not the fucking word. I can't even fathom why people do that. Like I could give you all the reasons in the world, but that's just narratives that I spin in my own fucking head of what do people have against hitting the fucking thumbs up, Maybe people want to come in and like they have this thing that they want to see, and if I don't provide the thing that they want to see, maybe they dip without hitting the like. Who knows? It don't matter though. What matters, Mrs. Clayton, is that I have you. I got Smart Savvy. I got Serena in here. Like the people who really rock with me constantly, consistently. That's all I need. The thumbs up. They don't validate the journey. I'm not seeking validation. In fact, I know a lot of the things that I say rub people the wrong way. Don't let me start talking about polyamory. Y'all already know. That's right, Serena. We have power to change things that are in our proximity. Oh shit, I don't even know who you're talking about, Smart Sav. You said Trump studied books of Norman Vincent Peale. I don't even know who that is. I gotta Google that when we're done. Thanks, Denise. I know, she probably signed off already, so she didn't hear me say thank you. And Gila was good. What it do? Raja, how you? How's that baby? Do I feel like trading is a real way to make active income? Hell yeah. Once you know what you're doing, I've been paper trading. Well, I was paper trading for about 2 months before I ever spent a dime on my own, of my own, in trading. And I have been blessed. I haven't even really been telling y'all about my trading journey, but I'm 5 trades in. My first 3, I made money. It wasn't a lot because I only took a small position. I was just really trying to get my feet wet, stick my toe in. But I made some money on my first 3 trades. My 4th trade, I could have made way more money, but because I was scared. Yo, one thing about trading, besides putting the money aside, it shows you who the fuck you are in relationship to money. I was scared that I was gonna lose a shit ton of money. So you're probably not even gonna understand that shit, but I'm gonna just tell you anyway, like you understand. I increased my stop limit, which is basically it's a parameter I put in place so that I don't lose more money. I had it down here, but I booped it up. I booped it up to here because I was like, oh, fuck that. I don't want to lose this much money. And as soon as I did that, that shit came and got my stop, came and took me out of the trade. And then it went right back in the other direction. And if I hadn't do that, if I didn't get scared and do that little change, I would have made like $70 in the next 5 minutes. Like I just needed 5 more minutes of fucking patience. So that's what my 4th trade did for me. It taught me a lot. I'm currently in my 5th trade, and my patience has been tried again, but I'm not making the same mistake this time. My contract expires on Friday. It has 2 days to climb like 60 or 50 cents before I make the money that I want to make off of it. So I trust in my analysis, and I feel like I'm going to make money. So to answer your question, Raja, I feel like if you are putting money away in a savings account, the smarter thing to do is to take half of that money that you were going to put away in the savings account and okay, so now you have that half that I was talking about. You split that in half of it invest in a quality company that you feel like is going to increase that money, which a lot of them do. I can give you a list of companies that are definitely going, like, I'm almost 100% sure these companies are going to make at least a 50% profit or increase in value over the next year because they are AI companies or robotic companies or cryptocurrency companies. You invest the half, a half of the half, which is a quarter, and then the other half, you actively trade with it if you can. Now, when I say trade, what do I mean? I think options, I don't know much about Forex. I know that it's based in currencies and shit like that. This ain't always come to my door asking for money, bro. Every day, like twice a day. Hold on, I'll be back. Nah. I'll see you later. Alright. I help people out in my community all the fucking time. And the problem with that is when you start to help people, they start to overstep. But it is probably my fault also because I should be like, yo, don't knock on my door for money no more. Like I know I give you money sometimes when you knock on the door, but don't do it no more. Cause I did it. I gave him money a couple of times. Now every day this nigga knock on my door. You got $2? You cook something. The crown is heavy. Okay, where was I? Oh, trading, right. So Forex is a thing I haven't cracked open yet, but I think I want to get into that because I feel like it's more volatile and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time like with options is very beginner friendly. Like you can walk right through the door. Your trading journey should start at options because it's going to teach you things that you need to know when you're fucking trading, and it helps your psychology Trading is all about psychology, fam. It's all about that. Like, people make it seem like it's hard. The hardest shit to do is to basically buy a position. Let's say I'm gonna use the word invest, but we're not really investing, we're trading. You buy into a position, and then the moment you buy into that position, you watch that shit decrease in value for days at a time. Sometimes you're like, yo, let's say hypothetical amount. You put $50 into this trade. That shit go, you watch that shit slowly, sometimes quickly, go down to like 10, 15, $20. And you be sitting there like, that's not what you were supposed to do. And then you have to trust in something called analysis. You're not supposed to really trade unless you're analyzing charts. I've heard of people not ever looking at a chart and still making money. I don't know how to fuck. I don't want to know. I feel like when people use fucking really clickbaity fucking shit like that in their little Instagram ads or YouTube videos, I steer clear of that shit because I don't even want to know. I do know that I want to learn how to trade. So that's all I've been doing is learning. So I say all that to say trading is definitely a real way to not only make active income, you make passive income, which is better than active income, way better. To make money in your sleep is the only way you're ever going to get rich. You will never get rich trading your labor and your back for finances, all right? Let that be known and said, and that's almost an absolute. I stand on that. So you will make active and passive income. You will grow as a human being. You will understand, you will improve your relationship with money just by trading, just by having patience, by understanding your fucking your emotional triggers, which for me is like, am I that other, I had a trade with SoFi, which is an online banking app. That's the one I told you about when I bumped up my stop loss and the shit immediately came and got it. Right then and there, that was the only lesson I needed to learn forever and ever and ever about fucking patience in finance. Like I always thought I had that mastered. Like I know I'm going to be a millionaire. I know that I am a millionaire. My bank account might not reflect it right now, but I know that I have millions of dollars flowing easily into my portfolio, into my grasp. But when the market moves against you, it's almost like somebody like saying, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, fuck you, bro. You think this little bit of money is, give me this fucking money. Get the fuck out of here. That's what you feel like the market is doing to you. You taking that shit personally. That, I mean, when I say you taking it personally, I took it personally. When SoFi moved against me in the way that it did, when I first got into that trade, I took that shit personally. I was like, oh, you don't like me, huh? Because when I took that trade, SoFi was doing this for months. And I was like, oh, it's doing this for months. It's been doing this for a year. It's not going to wait till I get it. Little old me, it's not going to wait till I get into this shit and go fucking down. And that's exactly what it did. That's exactly what it did. It drove me fucking crazy. For the first time in almost 5 or 6 months, SoFi went like this. Beep. As soon as I got into my trade, that shit said, I was like, I'm just one nigga. I only gave you like $50. But yeah, it was a learning experience. I took it personally, but I'll never have to learn that lesson in patience again. And that's why this current trade that I'm in is testing my patience again, because like I said, it's actually moving for me right now. But the past, I got into that trade on the 6th. From the 6th to the 9th, that shit was going down the whole time. I went from like, it was a $58 position. That shit went down to 30 cents, fam. Well, $30, I should say. It took my $58 and made it 30 within 3 days. And my take profit is when the shit is like, it's supposed to be worth like 64, something like that, you know? That's just a loose explanation of what's going on. So yeah, Raja, I hope you get into trading, especially investing. Investing is a no-brainer, but trading, If you need somebody to talk to about it, you know how to reach me. It's a lonely fucking world. Exactly, Mrs. Clayton. Even if we don't like Trump, it is what it is. That's so funny. Somebody named their username warning, made a default, and said your account has been flagged for Puerto Rican. Hilarious. Facts. Ashe, Mrs. Clayton. You always know. You always fucking know. The triggers are what change people. That's one of the dopest lessons that I learned in my last decade. From I didn't learn this until like I was 30. Or maybe I knew, but I couldn't embody this lesson. The lesson is this. When you plant a seed in somebody's mind, you don't need to watch the fucking tree grow and pick the fruit. It's going to take time for that tree to grow and that fruit to form, and you won't be around for it. So just because you say some shit and it rubs somebody the wrong way, you still planted that fucking seed. And best believe that tree will grow and it will fruit. And you most likely, 95% of the time, you most likely will not be around for it. Either because y'all had a disagreement and y'all had to go y'all separate ways because they didn't like the shit that you said, or just natural fucking life happens and y'all both go y'all different ways. That tree is gonna grow, friend. Corrupt was good. Sunshine, if you want a paper trade, you have to go to tradingview.com. Tradingview.com is basically it's a website in which you can look at any asset or underlying. It will give you the excuse me, I'm about to burp. It will give you the financial bloodline, the DNA, which is called a chart. It will give you that so you can look at it and do your analysis, practice your analysis on guessing which way it's going to go and how it's going to go there. And then you could, if you scroll down to the bottom, I can't tell you how to do it exactly, but you scroll down to the bottom, there's something you click on. It should be fairly obvious. It's going to pop up a menu, and on the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see paper trading. And it's basically going to give you $100,000 of fake money to practice trading with. And then once you feel like you're good with that, you know how to get in positions and get out of positions and all of that stuff, and you feel like you can be profitable, that's when you use your money, your actual money, your Federal Reserve notes. And then yeah, you should be comfortable getting into active trades. Yes, I have an alien head systemic noise because I am a fucking alien. Go eat some magic mushrooms. All right, large pro. This came in at 222 my time. It was a real download. That's what's up, Mr. Clayton. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for that. Yo, one day since you do real estate, I don't know if you're into this stuff or you if you ever have the time in your super busy life, but I talked a lot about what's known as in common circles as sovereignty, but really it's just knowing the law. And there's something called a land patent. Not a lot of people know about it, but I feel like you as a real estate agent should know about land patents, especially because you're dealing with actual homes that exist on land and not really like apartments. Um, when someone buys a house, they get the title for it, but they're listed as the owner on the title, but the government or the state, most likely, which is the government, owns the title. So who really owns the land? And that's when you start getting into something called an allodial title or a land patent. And that's when you really own the land that your house is on. You really own the structure that your house is. And from what I've heard, I've never been in the position yet myself, but from what I've heard, that exempts you from being taxed property tax, and that stops you from having your house taken in like an eminent domain situation. And you can use that title for numerous other benefits, such as taking out a loan, a free and clear loan against what is the negotiable instrument known as a mortgage. Because as far as I know, when you sign a mortgage, you created the intrinsic value for the mortgage. So basically the money for the mortgage doesn't exist until you sign the instrument for it. And once you sign it, that is supposed to be yours. Like your house is paid for the minute you sign your mortgage. Um, what is the paper called? I don't even know what the fucking name of the shit is called right now. But the contract, you know what I mean? Like the mortgage contract, once you sign it, you are the creator of that funds. You pay for that house right then and there. And then they double charge you with something called double book double bookkeeping entries. And if you look up the GAAP, the General Accounting, I don't know what the second A stands for. Oh, generally accepted accounting principles. There we go. If you look at the GAAP, the house is paid for, and you knowing it might not do you so much good. It might piss you off more than anything. And then if you ever try to explain it to like a regular person, they would look at you again like with the like you had three heads, because you're saying something that moves in the face of everything that everybody knows, which is if you buy a house, you gotta, you have a 30-year mortgage, you gotta pay that shit off, da da da. But you knowing it will help other people know it, and the more people that know it, the more effective it'll be. I think the biggest problem with people who know it, if they ever do come across the hurdle of um, using their signature as the principal beneficiary of the contract, the fiduciary responsibility of the mortgage contract, if they ever have hurdles getting over that, it's because it hasn't been done before in their county. And so when you go to the county recorder's office and you try to effectively, do I want to say accept for value? Let's just say pay. I don't want to say accept for value because I don't know about that too much and where that stands these days. It used to be a big thing back in the day, but I don't know if accept for value is working anymore, or acceptance at value. But once it becomes more of a common thing, I think that's one of the biggest things that's going to help out um, people in this country and then the world. It has to start in America because it was our idea. Maybe not our, like we didn't originate it. Like maybe fucking shit is as old as Babylon itself. But yeah, allodial titles and land patents. I have a short PDF on it that I'd be willing to send you if you're willing to read it. And I digress off of that. So another rant. Rant number 30 down for the day. All right. Came in 22:2. There we go. I'm learning that analogy with a literal tree. My mom's fig to be exact. That's what's up. Yeah, man. I have fig trees. I have two fig trees planted by me and the property where I used to live. And I've never had a fig off of those trees because I planted them when they were babies. And I'm not sure, the way things stand right now, I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to. Maybe she'll bring me some. You're welcome for the live, Waterloo. Thank you for being here. Even when you pay off the house, you still have to pay property tax every year. That's what they want us to believe, corrupt. That's what they want us to believe, fam. If you interested, hit me up. I don't know like how to necessarily get in touch with you, but my Instagram is eyenero. My Gmail is eyenero eyenero at gmail.com. If you email me, I will send you over the small PDF that's all about land patents and allodial titles, how to fill it out, where to go file it. Oh my AC upstairs leaking on the floor. I was like, what is that noise? I gotta go put a pot under that. You wanna go see what the fuck is going on with that shit? I don't know why it's defrosting like this, yo. We just got a new roof. And when they put the new roof on, they didn't put the AC back correctly. And the shit defrosts somehow for some reason and drips all over the floor. It's probably too dark for you to see. But that shit is dripping. This is an old ass house. This house is built in 1956. All right. But yeah, anybody who's interested in that, if they want to email me or DM me, I could send you the PDF on that stuff. You have to pay property no matter what. I hear you, Taylor. TLD. I hear you. But what if you didn't? You pay taxes on the value of your house. Hear that? I hear that. That's what they tell you. Oh, my boy Corrupt knows what the fuck is going on. That's what I'm talking about. Community. If the coil is freezing, then it's running too much, I'd say. I agree. We don't ever turn that shit off. If it was up to me, I'd only run it for fucking at night. That's what I believe in. I love fresh air. I do not really fuck with the air conditioned air, the machine manufactured air. But I don't want to hear my dad riff. I don't want to hear him riff. Who turned the AC off? Hey, man. Look. My boy Corrupt on YouTube said the coil is freezing because it's running too much, so we need to turn it off. So, Corrupt, if my dad call you on a number that we don't have, just know that I told him what you told me. There you go, Straw Baby. You already know. I keep calling you Straw Baby because it's Strawberry Baby. You got to get in touch with me, though. How I'm going to send you the info if I don't know how to send you the info? I can't send it to you right now, can I? I never tried that. What's this plus do? Start a poll, start a Q&A. That's for the comments. Yeah, DM. So you just got to DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is eyenero. eyenero. And I can send it to you that way. Or we can at least figure it out. Because I don't know how to put a link for a PDF in the comments. I'm pretty sure there's a way I can like... No. Yeah, it doesn't... I thought it would let me like type a comment, which means I should be able to type a link, but it doesn't look like it's going to work like that. Unseen, you want to start your real estate journey? What do I do after passing the state and national testing? I'm pretty sure there's only a state test. Because I was a sales agent back in the day. All I had to do was pass the New York State exam, which wasn't fucking hard at all. I studied for like 2 weeks for that joint. The test was like $50. And there you go. You just gotta find a broker to work for. Or a broker to hire you, I guess. Okay, okay. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. It's not it's easy. It can be joyful at times, but it can also be very stressful because it's from what I know, it's usually commission only. A good, great, perfect. I don't know. She got a lot, she got a lot going on. But Miss Vicky Koger, you'll see her if you come into these lives. She's almost in here all the time. Vicky Koger, if you see her, like chop it up with her. She is a real estate agent in the DMV area, so I'm sure she can give you some advice if she has a time. Like I said, if she has a time and is willing, and she's usually like she's one of the dopest people I know, so I can imagine her wanting to help you. Oh yeah, unseen. I'm talking to you like you don't be in here all the time. Unseen. You know who Vicky Koger is. Oh, you pass it, but you don't know what's next. You gotta find a broker. Reach out to find all the real estate agencies in your area and reach out to them like, yo, I just recently passed my test. I'm trying to get in. What's good? And usually they are thirsty for agents because, like I said, it's not. It can be easy, but it's not simple. Because not only do you have to have the gift of sales, you have to have the gift of patience, the gift of servitude in a way, because I don't know how it's going to be in your state, but when I was in New York State as a sales agent, I worked my ass off for people day in and day out, almost 7 days a week, and 90% of them fell off the face of the planet, and I never heard from them again after I had worked dumb hard for them. And that's why I don't do that shit no more. That's probably why I got fucking grades to this day. I mean, at least half of them. Half of the grades is from real estate. Half of the grades is from you know what. All right, we coming in on an hour and a half. I'm about to end this joint. I appreciate everybody for coming through. How you come through when you come through for TV. Gertrude's Van Life, what up? Strawberry said, I just need land, animals, and children. I won't need anything from this government. It's the realest shit you ever wrote. It's the realest shit. Don't nobody need nothing from the government. What do they really do? But steal and then give it back to you and act like it's a privilege that you get to get it. Remember that everything the government has ever had to give to someone else, they had to take from somebody first. All right. Yo, I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. I'm proud of myself because I told myself I was just going to get in and out. I wasn't going to be on here too long. But I just yapped my head off. Oh, shit. I didn't even know you could do that. What's that? A Zoom? Oh! I didn't even know you could do that. Now I don't know how to zoom out. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Let's get that energy built in them hands. Dear self, the one of us which is many, come before you in total awareness of the divine dichotomy, absolute oneness, being love in all that it is, in all of its experientially manifestations. May you grant my friends peace, prosperity, progress, persuasion, panacea, pleasure, and the everlasting, eternal, forever moment of the now. Amen. Ashe. Aho. Till next time, y'all. Peace.